boys and girls, welcome to Everyday Math Lesson Unit 6 Review. The materials that you'll need today, your pencil and the Unit 6 Math Review packet. If you don't have one, that's okay, then write your answers on either your whiteboard or in your notebook. Let's get started. Here's the first part of the first page of your review. If you can double check to make sure you have your name on top. So what I'll do is I'll show you part of a page. I'll ask you to solve, and then I'll ask you to press play when you're ready to check. So let's take a look at the first three problems here. So it's asking you just to write the time. So if you could write the time for each of those clocks on the line. Press pause and then play when you're ready to check. All right, so for the first time, I can see that my hour hand is in between the 8 and the 9, so I know that it's 8:30 because my minute hand was on the 6, standing for 30. My second one, I can see that my hour hand, it's pretty close to the 12, but it's still 11, and my minute hand is showing that it's at the 45, so 11:45. And then for my third clock, I can see that my hour hand is in between the 5 and the 6, so I know it's 5. And then my minute hand is on the 15, 5:15. So if you can double check to make sure that you have your answers correct before moving on. The second half of the page looks like this. So if you take a look, you're filling in your total part for questions 2 and 3. And then for question 4, you're figuring out the quantity difference and then solving for number 5 with your in and out rules. So I'll read question number 2 to you, and then I'll ask you to pause to solve. Fish B weighs 27 pounds. Fish C weighs 5 pounds. How much do they weigh together? Can you plug in your information and then solve? So we can talk about that first question. So when I plugged in my information, I had my 27 in the first part, my 5 in the second part, so I'm solving for my total. I know that 27 plus 5 more would get me to 32. So now if you want to listen for number 3 and then solve, fish M weighs 10 pounds, fish N weighs 46 pounds. How much do they weigh together? Press pause if you need more time to solve. All right, so your diagram should look something like this. You have 10 in the first part, 46 in the second part. If you have those flip-flopped, that's okay. You'll still get the same answer. I know that 10 plus 46 is equal to 56. For question 4, fish S weighs 39 pounds, fish T weighs 29 pounds. How much more does fish S weigh than fish T? If you need more time, press pause. So plugging in for my information, my top quantity is 39, my bottom quantity is 29. I'm solving for the difference. I know that 39 minus 29 is equal to 10. And then for question number 5, if you need more time, press pause. But to go from 5 to 10, I know that my rule is plus 5. Then 7 plus 5 more would equal 12. 13 plus 5 more would equal 18. And then I needed to do the opposite. So then I need to think 8 minus 5, which would equal 3. So double check to make sure you have this page correct before moving on to the next part. All right, so for question number 6, you're writing less than, greater than, or equal to for each of the top problems. Then for question number 7, if you can make a ballpark estimate, write your number model, and then will you also solve to find your actual answer? And if you want to stack them on the side, you could do that. So press pause to solve and play when you're ready to check. All right, second graders. So for question number 6, I know that 72 is greater than 27. I know that 48 equals 48. I know that 2/4 is also equal to 50 cents. I know that 138 is less than 318. If I have 210, if I'm adding 200 plus 10, I know that both sides are equal. And I know that 1,624 would be greater than 1,524. Then for number 7, make a ballpark estimate, write a number model for each estimate, and then I also want you to solve the actual answer. So if you need more time, press pause. So 46 is going to round to 50. 51 is also going to round to 50. 50 plus 50 equals 100. And then when I solved 46 plus 51, I know 6 plus 1 equals 7. And I know 4 plus 5 equals 9, giving me a total of 97, which was very close to my ballpark estimate. Then 39, I would round to 40. 64, I would round to 60. 40 plus 60 equals 100. When I'm adding my actual answer, 9 plus 4 is 13. Notice how I carry my 1. I put my 3 below. And then 3 plus 6 is 9, plus 1 more is 10, giving me my actual answer of 103. So double check to make sure you have this part correct before moving on to the bottom part of the page. All right, for question 8, you're going to draw an array with 4 rows and 2 columns, and then tell me how many in all and give me a number model, and then do the same thing with 5 rows and 4 dots in each row. For questions 9, you are subtracting for each of those. And then for 10 and 11, if you want to write down what was the easiest math problem on the review and then what was the most difficult problem on the math review, you could do that. So press pause to solve and play when you're ready to check. All right, so draw an array with 4 rows and 2 columns looks something like this. So you can see how I have my 4 rows and I have 2. And I have a total of 8, giving me my number model. 4 times 2 equals 8. And then 5 rows of 4 dots in each row. You can see that I have a total then of 20. And my number model, 5 times 4 equals 20. Then solving for number 9. So I know that 59 minus 27, I'm going to start with my ones place. 9 minus 7 equals 2, and then 5 minus 2 equals 3, giving me a total of 32. Then I have 72 minus 36, so I can't subtract 2 minus 6. So I went next door to the 7, and I changed that 7 to a 6. And then now my 2 becomes a 12. So now I can think 12 minus 6, which equals 6, and 6 minus 3, which equals 3, giving me my total of 36. And then same thing for this last one. I started with 82 minus 15, and I couldn't subtract 2 minus 5. So I went next door and I changed my 8 to a 7, and my 2 now becomes a 12. 12 minus 5 equals 7, and then 7 minus 1 equals 6. If you can double check to make sure that you have this correct, and good luck on your test. I'll see you next time.